Hey, welcome back to Whitetail Garage. All right, so this weekend, we've already gone for a test drive. Let's show you some of that now. Drove great. Have a little bit of a noise coming out of the rear. I think it's just new brakes. We'll check that out. The big issue we have is the front end alignment. It's all over the place. So I'm going to do a string alignment this weekend. I've also got a weird thing with the rear brakes sticking as far as the, I've got a thing with the rear brake lights staying on. So I've identified that it is the brake light switch. Looks like that bushing in there is not the correct bushing. It's certainly not the one that you would get off of the Mustang shops, right? You know, CJ Pony Parts or whatever. You look at those, it does not look like mine. And so it does look like mine is new. So it looks like somebody may have been trying to fix a squeak or fix maybe the rear brake lights and never got around to doing it correctly. Throw a bushing in there, couldn't figure it out. I don't know. But I bought a new brake light switch, assuming it was the old brake light switch that was a problem, because I know these are fairly finicky, especially if they're old. It is. I've already started playing a little bit, messing with it. So I replaced the brake light switch. I mean, it's that style switch, right? I mean, super basic. A lot of times these springs wear out, or the plunger breaks, or it gets seized. You know, just gets dirty and gets seized in there. So I did find it local at, I think this was AutoZone, is that part number. Of course I didn't fix the problem because the old brake light switch works fine. I should have checked that before I went ahead and just jumped off and got the part. It's just so almost always the brake light switch in these scenarios, and it wasn't in my case. So what it looks like, you know, as you press on the pedal, the rod between the pedal and the master cylinder is what presses against the switch, right? And so that press on the switch that depresses that spring inside, it takes a lot of pressure, but it's under that leverage of the pedal. When it depresses that, that's what closes the circuit, clicks on the lights, right? So mine are clicked on all the time because the circuit is closed all the time because that switch is depressed all the time. So I think what I'm going to start with, I've seen somebody say that like these aftermarket parts aren't good at accounting for the geometry differences in all of these vehicles, because all of the classic cars were so not the same, you know, as far as their tolerances. And so the aftermarket parts tend to be one way, and the cars aren't one way. And so it requires some tweaking. So I've seen some people comment that they've actually shaved down the stop on the brake pedal. I didn't even know there was a stop, frankly, so I'm going to go back in there and see if there's a stop that I can maybe, you know, shave a couple thousandths off of and allow that pedal to come up just a little bit higher, and that'll fix that. Otherwise, I may have to remove that bushing and just keep the pin on the brake pedal lubed, maybe. You know, I don't know. I got to fiddle with that a little bit, but I figured out what the issue is. It's not an electrical issue. It's a mechanical issue with that switch. So I'm going to fiddle with that. And then I'm going to work on doing a string alignment. And maybe we'll get out for another longer test drive today. Maybe get out and stretch your legs out on the highway. So we'll see. Otherwise, the engine is running great. We're staying at temperature. I've got no leaks. I've got no issues under the hood right now. Everything is looking good. Alternator's charging. It's charging a bit low, but maybe it always was, right? So I'm at like 13.5 with the alternator turning, which is kind of in your minimum range that you want to be, but it's probably an older alternator. When I say older, it's probably from the 80s or 90s, right? And it's not a you know, a 2012 or a 2021 alternator that can produce 14 amps. I'm assuming that's it. It's got a brand new battery in it, and so for it not to be able to pull it to 14 amps, that's what I'm hoping it is. But, you know, we'll just keep an eye on that. This thing, you know, hit the pedal twice after it's been sitting, turn the key, it fires right up. I'm really excited about that. So don't seem to have any issues with the carburetor. Seems to be pretty peppy at low speed, but I haven't got out there and like checked the passing gear, right? I can feel the transmission shifting. Everything seems correct, but it's all been kind of baby steps, and I haven't gone any faster than 30 miles an hour. So I'll have to get it up out onto the road and stretch her legs a bit today and see, you know, see how she feels. So I also did get the rest of the trunk stuff. So I'm gonna, sometime this weekend, paint the trunk and get it finished so I can lay in the liner. I've actually got the liner sitting out in the sun, both the spare tire and the trunk liner. That's the way you get rid of those wrinkles, guys. Just set those liners out in the sun and they will clean right up. I finally got an Eternal back order, which was the liner that comes with these pieces, and the jack pad. And then the jack pad, this thing, they missed a step in production. The button never got riveted, so I got to see what they can do for me on that, because right now that won't stay snapped closed. So I guess I'll see if they can send me out another one or something. I'll call CJ on that. But yeah, last video you saw we got the seat belts in, so we've tested all that. That works great. You know, everything else seems to be doing good. Speedometer works. Not sure if the gas gauge works because I only have a little under 5 gallons of gas in it, and so the gauge moves slightly, but you know, I don't know if that's the correct reading or if it just doesn't work. I don't know. I'll have to get more fuel in it to determine that. But everything else seems to be working. Oil pressure gauge works, and we're maintaining great oil pressure. I mean, no sputters, no hiccups. She just runs, so I'm excited about that. Anyways, I'm gonna get some organization going and begin to fiddle with the brake pedal. That's where I'm gonna start. All right, let me just catch you up. So I've been fighting the taillights. So I've got two issues with the taillights. One, I'm getting signal all the time through the brake light switch. So it's definitely got an issue with the brake light switch. So I got to figure that out. But I'm also getting the right brake is not working at all. And with the brake pedal depressed, the left brake light and park lamp come on. I don't get a signal at the right brake light at the rear of the vehicle. So I've traced that all the way back to the wires that come out of the column right from the turn signal switch. You've got like an orange and blue and a green and orange. The green and orange, which is your left rear, your left brake light signal, is hot because, again, the brake light switch is providing power. So it's getting power. However, the, whatever it is, green and orange that goes to the, no, hang on. Let's go correct this. I'll pull up the diagram and show you on the diagram, right? But let me walk back here and look. So the left side of the vehicle is getting signal. That is green and orange. That is getting the brake light signal. The right side of the vehicle, which is orange and blue, can't really see, it's all ugly, is not getting a signal. I've traced that all the way back to under the dash. That is true as well. So I think I need to move back to the turn signal switch, which, if you remember from a previous video, I installed that. So maybe I installed it wrong. So I'm gonna dig into that and see.
Thousands of tears later.
All right, next I'm going to try and get this muffler in place. One of the interesting things is this is a different size muffler slightly. I don't know if you can see, but you know, like that compared to my hand, and then that compared to my hand is quite a bit longer down. But let me fire it up and show you why I am replacing it. way too noisy for a 6-cylinder. Well, didn't film a whole lot this weekend. I didn't do a whole lot, but don't have much to show for it. The alignment's done. Used the string method. Got it within a 1/16 of an inch. Took it for a test drive. Works perfectly. Excited about that. Muffler's in. Still doesn't quite sound great. I'll start it up for you here in just a second. Not super excited about the sound, so I gotta figure out what to do about that. Still haven't got the brakes figured out, so I took the master cylinder off. I bench bled it. Everything seems to be functioning correctly, but it's like that spring in the master cylinder is like pushing back. It's like the push rod for the brake pedal push rod it's acting like it's too long. But as I look at everything looks stock, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I'm probably going to go ahead and order the dual bowl and put power brakes on this anyway. So hopefully that does it. I think I may just go ahead and get the adjustable push rod when I order that setup, but we'll see. I've got to look and see what I can find. Otherwise, you know, not a ton accomplished this weekend. We did knock stuff off the list. In fact, we can let me get a rag so we can take the muffler off. We can take the alignment off. So there's just a few more things on that list to get, and that's just really to like safely and easily drive it the way we want, right? We still have to do a bunch of the interior stuff. Still have to do the convertible top, but she fires right up. I'm excited about that. Drives nicely. You know, there's some noises that it's making. I'll have to figure that stuff out. Yeah, so let's fire it up so you can see what that sounds like. It fires right up. Not great. Here, I'll set y'all back there. Let y'all hear it back here. Alright, so I'm going to end it right there. If you have any ideas on how to make the exhaust sound better than that, please drop them in the comments. Otherwise, I'll be doing some research. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.